Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Sssniperwolf. She has just done the absolute unthinkable, and I cannot believe that this is actually happening, but I'm going to unpack it with you guys, tell you all about it. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Hey guys, I also have a really quick update on Mom of 8 Rosalie, so stick around till the end for that one. Alright you guys, so if you're not familiar with Sssniperwolf, she has a channel here on YouTube that is absolutely massive, and a lot of her content is reaction. She does reactions to TikToks, and the thing is, like, I can appreciate reaction content because I make some reaction stuff myself. But the problem with Sssniperwolf is her reactions are so boring and just basically telling you exactly what you're looking at. She doesn't add any of her own thoughts to the video. She doesn't say, oh, you know, if I was doing this, this is what I would do, or this is what I think about that, or anything. Her reactions are literally more boring than watching paint dry, at least for me. But her audience is a lot of kids. And because of her boring, bland, cheap content and the fact that kids watch her, she has been able to become a millionaire off of the views of these kids and the way that they'll, you know, endlessly watch her content. There are a lot of people who have shared their opinions about Sssniperwolf and her very cheap content over the last few years. I've seen numerous different videos, and you know, that's what commentary is all about. You share your opinion, you kind of move on. But what she has done over the last 24 hours, in my opinion, this could be the end of her YouTube channel, because she has directly broken YouTube terms of service. And let's go back about 2 months. 2 months ago, a fellow YouTuber named JacksFilms went ahead and made a commentary video about Sssniperwolf, saying basically what I just said. Her content is very boring, very cheap, and he, you know, decided that he was going to make basically a parody channel based off of her boring, lackluster content.
What does she do? She steals TikToks and reacts to them. Let's talk about how egregious this freebooting is. In each of her hundreds and hundreds of videos, she plays other people's TikToks and provides extremely base-level commentary.
This dude is running sideways! What? Wow.
If you want to support the original creators of the TikToks, too bad, because the only links you'll find in the description are all Sssniperwolf. And my favorite part is that half of the TikToks she includes either crop out the original username or just straight up don't have one. To use a recent example from just 3 days ago, she features 19 videos, 13 of which don't have any identifiable usernames. That means there's no way to find and support the original creators here. All of the views and all of the revenue go straight to Sssniperwolf. You know the phrase, work smarter, not harder? Well, Sssniperwolf does neither. She just steals and doesn't credit anyone, and has become a zillionaire in doing so.
A fire hydrant exploded, and the water's just going everywhere.
Pretty cool. Have you ever read a tweet that broke your brain? Because this broke mine. This is the official YouTube creators account on Twitter, with over 6 million followers, acknowledging Sssniperwolf as a keynote speaker at last month's VidCon, claiming she gets her ideas from her fans. Now, there are several things wrong with this tweet, like why is she a keynote speaker at VidCon? Why is YouTube creators bolstering this? But the worst thing about the tweet is this, getting video ideas from her fans. What ideas? Quite literally, all she does is upload other people's TikToks. How is that an idea? What am I not getting here? Last year, I made a new channel called JacksFilms. It was a parody of Sssniperwolf's channel where I reacted to her videos, but in the most drawn out way possible.
Soak for 7 days.
Oh my gosh, a whole week to make paper? No thanks, I'll just buy it at the store. No, I kid, of course. No, it's a very complicated process. A whole week? Oh, it's been 1 week since you made me paper. These videos were intentionally hard and painful to watch, which got me thinking, what if I made them entertaining? Instead of playing a character, what if I just graded each one of her reactions with legitimate criticism? And what if I credited the creators whenever possible, both in the video and in the description? And what if, occasionally, I enlisted the help of my good friend JackGPT? Jarvis, please write a haiku on why freebooting is bad. Pirates of the web. Snatching memes with no cred. Original sad. Why, you could call that transformative. Heck, I'd argue it even falls under fair use. Wouldn't you agree, Sssniperwolf? I'm not really asking.
It's minus 57 degrees.
Minus 57 degrees.
Yep, that's what he said, yep.
Tried to pour a can of Coke.
You try to pour a can of Coke?
Stop repeating. She's just repeating what they say louder. Anyways, the first video is already up on JacksFilms. Go check it out and subscribe because I will be uploading there daily for as long as I want to.
Had a really great addition in his video that I want to make very clear, she never gives the original TikToker the proper amount of a shout out on her channel. She will never send her followers to follow a TikToker that she reacts to. Sometimes she will block out their username or crop it out. And the bare minimum, if you're going to put out these really boring reactions that are not even really like real reactions at all, the least that you could do is make sure that these TikTok users are linked in your description box, or their username is very clear on the screen, since you like to crop those things out of the videos that you're reacting to. The only person that Sssniperwolf's content is helping is her. That is it. This content doesn't open up conversation. It doesn't open up dialogue. It doesn't shine a light on a problem that people might not know about or anything intuitive like that. It simply makes her very wealthy. And JacksFilms went ahead and shared that along with some other thoughts, and his video was done very fairly. He wasn't hateful or cruel or any of the things. Y'all already know how I feel about these, bullying type channels where it's like actually people being ruthless and disgusting about a YouTuber that they disagree with. His video was done very well. It was fair, cut and dry, whatever. So that was about 2 months ago. And since that video came out, he and Sssniperwolf have kind of been in this back and forth tiff, and things boiled over last night. If you're wondering what happened last night, let me just explain to you. Sssniperwolf was doing some sort of photo shoot or whatever, and she shared that on her Instagram stories. Then she decided to put on her Instagram stories, which, as a reminder, even though YouTube is her biggest platform, she still has over 5 million people that follow her on Instagram. She said, "Should I go visit JacksFilms? He lives 5 minutes away from my shoot." And she put a yes or no voting button on this story. Shared that out to over 5 million people, knowing these people know that I've had this little tiff with this guy. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on my stories and allow people to engage and add fuel to the fire. Just a few minutes later, she posted JacksFilms' home. His private residence she put on her Instagram story for over 5 million people. And she put a text on the screen that said, "Let's talk like adults, JacksFilms." JacksFilms was talking like an adult. He was making content on your very public persona. He wasn't being mean, hateful, vile, or cruel about it. And Sssniperwolf's ego was not able to handle the fact that he didn't really care for her very cheap content. She has decided to pay this way more attention than what it needed. And let's also just talk about, this is not only putting him in harm's way, but also his wife. I don't know if he has children or not. Even if it was just him, that is bad enough. But you are not only putting him, but also all of the residents that live in that home in harm's way. You are sharing this to over 5 million people, and you don't know. It only takes one of those people to think, "Oh, Sssniperwolf is my favorite YouTuber, and this guy is giving her a hard time. I'm going to show up at his house." There are people that go real life so quickly, and they will go real life and just go off the deep end simply because this YouTuber doesn't like what they consider to be a good or one of their favorite YouTubers. It literally takes hardly anything to send some people over the edge. So for her to put this out, even if she did delete it, as we all know, once it's on the internet, it's there forever. Screenshots, screen recordings. I mean, let's be real, especially when you have an audience this size. There's no just like erasing this. Now, the screenshot I'm going to share is obviously heavily edited, but in her original story, none of the edits were there, and I want to make that very clear. Now, JacksFilms went ahead and went on Twitter last night and said, Sniperwolf just stalks me on her IG. Creepy, gross, violating. What you do is disgusting. You steal content and stalk YouTubers. And he ats Team YouTube. Demonetize this dangerous creator or just get her off your platform. She posted an IG story right outside our home and deleted it. Sniperwolf then went on to her Instagram stories and said, she shows this parody channel that he created and said, this is obsessive behavior. Is this really the only way you can get views on YouTube? Don't you have a wife? First of all, like, the idea of somebody having a spouse or a partner literally means nothing to me. I don't care if you are a YouTube creator and you're playing by the rules and you're not being a menace. I don't care if you've been, divorced for 45 years or if you are a newlywed. Don't care. That has nothing to do with it. She also mentioned in this Instagram story that she wanted to possibly get a restraining order. And I thought it was funny because she's obviously playing one of his videos down here off his parody channel, which you can see. For Sniperwolf to literally take this guy who is just doing commentary, okay, he made a parody channel and is reacting to her own content, to take this so out of bounds and take it so far to make it seem like he is some kind of unhinged fan who is running around putting your life in harm's way and just doing all of these scary, terrible things, and to sling around accusations like harassing and I need an order of protection and this guy is stalking me. Those are very, very heavy claims when all that he did was make content that you disagreed with. His content was not rude. It didn't break terms of service. It didn't put your safety in harm's way. He was playing by the rules and you just didn't like it. And she didn't like it because he has a very big channel and he's been on YouTube for about 17 years, since literally the very beginning. Sniperwolf is one of those creators who has worked with G Fuel. She's done her own collab with G Fuel. She gets a lot of brand deals and brand partnerships and all of this kind of stuff. I have a serious problem with people like this running around and being allowed to keep their YouTube channels. I have said for the longest time, I fully disagree with anyone doxing anybody. And that goes for even if it's somebody who I disagree with their content and I don't like them and I don't respect them, I still disagree with it. None of us should have to literally sit in our homes and be scared that it's that one person who is going to take things real life and possibly show up at your home. And it's all because this other YouTuber decided that they didn't like you so much that they were going to put your address out there. And that goes for everybody. Like, when I say that I disagree with people being doxxed, it goes for everybody. Even the people that I don't like, I don't respect, they don't like me, they don't respect me, like, whoever. Or even if they don't know who I am and I hardly know who they are, like, I still completely disagree with people being doxxed online. It just does not need to happen. If somebody is becoming that much of a problem, then you need to take it up with local law enforcement. Do not rattle their cage, because if somebody is actually stalking or harassing you, the last thing in my mind that I would want to do is to bring it to YouTube and continue to rattle their cage publicly on my platform. That's one of the worst ideas I can think of, in fact, if you are actually being harassed or stalked by somebody. But this is extremely scary, and I hope that JacksFilms is working with his local law enforcement, and I hope that he continues to yell at Team YouTube on Twitter, because this should not be happening. And these large creators who are able to use their numbers and their power in order to get away with stuff like this, it's going to have to stop eventually. Because at one point, what we're going to have is somebody with a large platform being completely reckless with their content, like Sniperwolf, and somebody is going to get hurt. And nobody should get hurt just for making content online. Point blank, period. I just don't understand the mentality of some of these YouTubers. It happens a lot in small communities that I've noticed, where somebody doesn't like you, so they automatically go to dancing. That is like their solution. That's their big aha thing. And there's just a whole lot of dancing that happens in a lot of these smaller communities that I've seen, and it's unfair. It's not okay. Like, you know, once you feel like you're not safe in your own home, you know, what is somebody supposed to do with that? A lot of people just can't up and move, nor should they have to. We should all, as I've said before, we should all be able to make our content, play by the terms of service, don't be a menace. And if you do feel like things are escalating out of control, then you need to work with your local law enforcement and rely on them instead of, you know, rattling cages and doing things like publicly dancing or using your fans to possibly do dirty work for you. It's not okay. It makes me very concerned, and I hate to see that it happens so often. But I'm going to keep a close eye on this. I don't know what YouTube is going to do about Sssniperwolf. Probably nothing. But I do hope that more creators talk about this, because this, when I talk about unhinged behavior, this is actually unhinged behavior. Showing up at somebody's private residence and saying, let's talk like adults, and then go and play the victim when you were literally just outside of this person's home saying, let's talk like adults. It's the hypocrisy. It's the completely, this is like psycho level behavior. I also want to throw in a little update on Mom of 8 Kids, or Rosalie, in this video, because I just don't feel like it's really necessary to put a dedicated video out on this, because it's a really quick update. But I was taking a look on her channel and just to see if we have any updates, since she said she was going to go meet with the local law enforcement about her husband and the photographs and videos that she had of him while he was laying on their kitchen floor. She has not posted any new content. There's no updates on her community page, nothing like that. But I did scroll through her comments and found where she responded in the last day to a couple of people who were asking, hey, what's going on? Like, this person said, Rosalie, I know this is very overwhelming and some people are being horrible, but could you please let us know that you are okay? Some people here really care. And she responded and said, overall, I'm doing okay, although I have moments of depression. It is comforting to hear from you. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. She responded that same thing to a couple of other people who had the same question or concern. What I want to say is, I haven't personally seen any anyone being outright cruel, but to be fair, I also haven't seen, like, I haven't watched any other YouTube videos aside from my own on this topic. But what I want to say is, people should not be horrible to her. But is it fair for people to ask questions? Absolutely. It's fair for you to put something out onto social media and for the audience that's consuming that content to raise questions and talk about red flags and talk about things that maybe they would have done differently. If you don't, you know, if the public saying, oh, well, I would have done this, or why is that that way, or why does that look like that, if that is going to be too much for you, then maybe you should just stop sharing and delete the videos. Because I don't want social media to push anyone into a deeper depression than they might already be in. But at the same time, if you're putting the content out there, then people are going to have different opinions, and not everybody is going to look at it the way that you look at it, which I've already said, so I don't want to turn into a broken record. But I do hope that she is okay, and if YouTube is too much for her, then maybe it's time to pack it up and stop sharing. That's also a possibility. But YouTube is also giving her money. But for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.